Lights, camera, action. Good evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it might be for you. Oh, kind of rhyming there. Welcome to or back. Actually, we're just going to say two because this will probably be the first one to come out. Welcome to the KENNY KAST. I think that's what we're going to call it. That's what this one's going to be called, that's for sure. And you'll see where the name comes from later. So if you don't like it, blame Mason. It's his fault. Anywho, all that being said, let's get into it. It's Tuesday, December 24th. It's Christmas Eve, 2024. I'm down here at work in Texas, like usual, at the apartment. I ain't got nothing better to do, so I figure I might as well jump on here and see if I could entertain y'all for a little while and give you. I want to get this out for tomorrow, Christmas Day, for you guys listening on the way home from family Christmas and hanging out with relatives, or you're driving to or from, whatever it might be. You got a couple hour car drive. You're doing this, you're doing that, or in the next couple days on the way home from visiting family, you just pop this puppy on and give her a listen. But yeah, having fun. Brought to you by Blue Bull. Blue Bull, not balls. Big difference there. Anywho, just gonna kind of free ball it. I asked some of y'all for some topics or questions or something to talk about. Something to get me fired up, just something to get you want to grunt in your teeth and burning your biscuits and grunt in your gears. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. Like, those kind of dumb questions that you almost lose friends over for no reason, over the dumbest questions, the dumbest arguments. It's like flat earthers. James, you're probably never going to see this, but if you do, you and your flat earth theory and all that, brother, man. I shouldn't even say anything because I couldn't tell you if it was flat or round or what the heck it is. And quite frankly, I couldn't. Ooh, see, right, I just about did it. Somebody brought that up to me the other day. Or I'm sure whoever brought it up will speak up later. I can't remember who it was. Talking about could care less and couldn't care less. Well, I just about slipped up and I said, I could care less. Or maybe I was going to say it right. Dang, see, that's how messed up it gets you, is like, because a lot of people just go, you ask them about something that they don't care about, and they say, I could care less about that. Well, actually, the correct way of saying it would be, I couldn't care less, right? Because you care so little, there's literally no less care you could give towards the subject. Well, we had that whole discussion, and we were talking about that and whatnot. Those are the kind of questions we're getting on. Because while I agree with the fact that I couldn't care less, I most of the time am going to default to I could care less. Don't know why. I mean, it just, I guess, became a habit of some kind. And, that's just the way it goes sometimes, So, sorry, I apologize. Trying to get this adjusted right. We can hopefully work through this, people. Sorry. Get this mic figured out so I can get a little more comfortable here. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully y'all can still hear me pretty good. Getting back to the original point, there was the flat Earth thing. I don't know if it's round. I don't know if it's flat. I don't know, but I don't really care whether it is or isn't, because that doesn't change my reality in any way. It's round. Cool. it's flat. Feels the same as if when it was round. You know what I mean? Like, sun still comes up, and I don't know how or why it does it. But as long as it keeps coming up, I'm pretty cool with that. I mean, that's pretty all right. You know what I mean? So, anywho, that's why I think it's so funny when people get so worked up over, oh, it's round, it's flat, or you guys are stupid, this is that, look at the ancient this, and we were pulling electricity out of the skies. And, I actually believe that one. I think Tesla was onto something. I think the old cathedrals and all that kind of jazz, like, I think there's something to that. A lot of weird stuff going on out there, and I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you anything about it. But I will say, some people get pretty wound up, pretty into this stuff. Like the one guy was talking about, the fella at work was talking about the pyramids being like ancient X-ray machines or something. Cool. Don't care. Doesn't bother me. Doesn't affect my day-to-day life. Why? He's telling me like it's gonna change my life. Like, oh no, the pyramids were X-ray machines. Oh, this changes everything. I gotta quit my job. No, like what? Cool, man. Like, good for you. But, man, see, this is why I want to talk about these kind of subjects, because like I will end up, like, I'm not getting worked up about that one, but some of these might get me going. We'll see. Anywho, so I guess we'll jump right into it, and we'll start with this first one, which actually was the last one to respond. Sorry, these are kind of backwards, but Amaya, she asked me tater tot hot dish or casserole, right? So Amaya is from South Dakota, and in South Dakota, it's an in-between kind of place where you can kind of do a little bit of both, but it's mostly one way. And well, it might be a Minnesota thing though too, I think, with the tater tot hot dish. Tater tot hot dish, I can't remember. So y'all know what I'm talking about. You get your ground beef, you get you some vegetables like some peas, some corn, peas, corn, green beans, carrots, that kind of jazz. You brown that hamburger meat up, that burger meat, whatever, if it's hamburger, deer, or whatever. You brown it up the same as like if you're doing taco meat, but you don't season it or nothing. You brown it up. You got your cream of mushroom soup and stuff that you're going to mix in there, and then your vegetables, and then you're going to put tater tots over the top of it, or, I mean, people do different types of casseroles and stuff, but you put tater tots across the top and a bunch of cheese on top of that. And there you go. You got you a nice hearty meal for the Midwest in wintertime. You know what I mean? Nice and hot. Tastes just as good when you heat it up next day. Leftovers. But anywho, that's why they call it a tater tot hot dish, right? It's got tater tots, and it's hot, and it's in a big dish. It's a tater tot hot dish. Pretty simple. Well, I don't know where the heck the word casserole comes from, but it does seem fitting for that type of food. But I mean, it's hard saying, because I'm from Ohio. We call them casserole. It's a casserole, a green bean casserole, whatever. I haven't heard anybody go green bean tater tot hot dish, so it's hard telling. But what I will say is, my roommate in college, he said casserole, and his now wife says tater tot hot dish, and I could be mixing them up. Garrett McKenna, please don't kill me if I got you guys mixed up, because they are pretty adamant about it being one way or the other, right? And they don't quite agree on it. So she would always make this really good tater tot hot dish or casserole or whatever, right? Whenever she would come over to the house and whatever. I really liked it, and I would want her to make it, right? and I'd ask her if she could make it or something, and I would have to appease both sides. I just started calling them a tater tot hot casserole dish. I mean, you can't be wrong if you have it all in there, can you? That's the way I look at it. But yeah, like I said, from Ohio, we're calling it a casserole. South Dakota, Minnesota, you get around that area, eastern South Dakota, you're going to be a little bit more divided. I don't know really what happens when you come down here. I should ask a Texan and see. I'm sure they don't call it a tater tot hot. That's got to be just a Minnesota, like Wisconsin type thing. You know what I mean? Like the weirdos over there. Bunch of weirdos. But, I mean, that's... I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I have much else to say about that other than, like, they taste good, you know? Next on the list, let me cross it off here. Since I'm very professional, I have a notebook and everything. I have notes I can't even get to because my cords are in the way. Excuse me. Sorry. Ooh, everything's falling apart. Lamaya, I hope that answered your question. I hope that got what you wanted out of it. I don't know what you call it. So, final ruling on the tater tot hot dish or casserole. It's a lot more fun to say tater tot hot dish, but it's also a mouthful. I'm just going to go with, since it's a mouthful anyway, I'm just going to go with my version of it's a tater tot hot casserole dish. Court's adjourned. Our next question is from Rachel, and she says, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, as a good Christian man, there's one simple answer to this, and it's the creation, right? God created, the earth and all the animals, so you have to say that the chicken came first because of creation. I don't think that a freaking chicken just evolved from some kind of dang lizard or bird or tadpole or something and just all of a sudden, nah. The chicken came first. God created a chicken. They started laying eggs. Well, it created 2 chickens, right? They started laying eggs, started having chicks, and all of a sudden there's like 7,000 different kinds of chickens, including them Bigfoot ones in Bangladesh or wherever. Yeah, pretty boring question there, Rachel. Expected more from you. Yeah, cool. Cross that one off the list. Yeah. And then this next one is a pretty good one. I like it. I think it's a good question. And this is coming from Garrett. He asks, whitetail or muleys, right? And if you know me and you're listening to this, or hopefully some of you don't know me and you're finding this and hopefully finding it funny. I do a lot of hunting. There's a mule deer right there, right? Deadhead, I found in New Mexico. And so that being said, when it comes to whitetail or mule deer, it depends on who you are, where you're hunting, and, just personal preference. Like, what do you like? What do you like? How much work do you want to put in? What kind of hunting do you like to do? That kind of thing. Because me personally, I'm 100% a muley guy. Through and through. 100% like it. But that's also hard to say because you get so spoiled. And I don't want to give away too many secrets or nothing, but when you're chasing mule deer in the wide open country, it's a lot different than chasing some, high altitude muley or some sort of, if they're in, timber, hunting mule deer in timber is the biggest pain in the butt in the world. It's just, especially like with a bow, good luck, Charlie. I mean, that ain't. So that might be like those are the drawbacks, right? I really enjoy hunting muleys in a wide open environment, and I think that's why I like them is because I'm able to hunt them in that environment, right? Where you're able to spot from a ways away, and you're able to stalk in and get, set yourself up with a shot however you can, or whatever it is. Like, you get to hunt them. If you get up in high altitude and you're in timber and things like that, you might end up basically hunting like it's a whitetail, where you're hunting on food and water. So, but yeah, so like that's a big thing. If you're after more of a hunt and like spotting and stalking and things like that, mule deer. Whitetail guys, this whitetail is really really a good one for most people, and I understand why a lot of people like it so much is because it is a very easy weekend warrior. After work, get off work early and go hunting type of animal. Like, that's what you can do with whitetails, right? You can get off work early, go out and get in the stand, and you can just kill the biggest deer of your life that way. Or you got time, you go into work late one day or something, or like like what I would do in when I was in high school is like you get a 2 hour delay. Like, I'm gonna go out and try to kill a deer before I got to go to school and things like that. Just like you see in the old hunting movies that we used to watch. But yeah, I mean that's the kind of versatility of it. Most of the time when you're hunting whitetails, you're able to hunt them over bait. So, when you're hunting deer over bait, I'm not totally against it, but I don't love it either. Like, even if I'm gonna hunt with using bait, I don't like sitting over the bait. Simply because when you sit over the bait, especially I guess it doesn't matter. In the morning hunts, if you're trying to go sneak into a stand that's on bait, you're gonna spook everything out of there. Like, they're gonna be there eating, you're gonna walk in, you're gonna spook everything out of there. Who knows if they're coming back? Well, and then if you're hunting in the evening, it comes around dark, and if you're not, unless you're freaking Houdini, you're probably getting stuck in the stand after the deer come out. Those come out before dark, and then it gets dark on you while you're watching them. They're right in front of you, probably 30 yards or so, and now you can't see them. Don't know if they're there. No idea if they left 10 minutes ago, if there's one right at your feet staring at you. If it's right there, you probably heard it and know it's there. But if you're sitting by in a field where you can't hear their footsteps so good, good luck, buddy. Good luck, because I can't tell you how many times I get stuck with deer sitting out in front of me. You can't get out of that stand. You better hope you got somebody that can come pick you up and scare them away, and so you don't blow your cover and they learn where your stand is and learn to look for you there, because that's what happens. You go to get down, and eventually you got to get down, and if they're still there, they see you. So now they know where your stand is. You kind of ruined it. You kind of screwed yourself. You played yourself. But that being said, when I hunt with bait, I don't like to hunt over it. I like to create a semi-natural scenario where, yes, I'm baiting them, but I'm not hunting on the bait. I'm hunting them on their path, on their travel to and from said bait, right? And that, like I said, that helps with when you're getting in there. If they're on the corn, you can usually sneak in without them spooking very bad. And then when you go to leave, you can usually sneak out of there, and have an idea where the deer are and things like that. And they're pretty focused chewing on their corn or whatever kind of bait you got, and you just slip on out of there because you're, 200 yards away from them, or, 100 or so, at least 100 yards away, whatever. But that's that'd be my take on them. If, like I said, if I'm picking between whitetail and mule deer, I'm probably gonna pick those mule deer all day long. There's just something about them that really freaking gets me. I just don't have the patience to sit in a tree stand for hours and hours it's just, and that's like, you want to, there's a part of me that wants to go, yeah, whitetail guy sitting over corn. That's not hunting. You're not sitting. You're not hunting. You're not doing anything, which, honestly, I still think that, like, you're not really hunting, but I do have to give them props and in the fact that they are more patient than I am, and they are putting in a lot. Typically, they're putting in more hours than I am because they do all day sits. It's a very boring grind. I like moving. I like getting out there. I like pushing myself. I like, putting in those hikes, moving around, being able to do this, being able to do that, being able to play the wind and not just hope that the wind works for you, and doing the scent-free clothes and this and that. And it's just different aspects, right? And what do you like? Where are you at? What kind of stuff? Whatever. But I still need to get me a nice big whitetail. So I am going to have to tough it out and figure this crap out, hopefully, next season, because I didn't do so hot in Missouri this year. Went up there, buddy's place, and didn't make it happen. I was going to shoot a doe. Couldn't do it. Didn't get an opportunity on them. It was kind of a weird week. Deer weren't moving like normal. Whatever. But, yep, final decision. It's a muley for me. Muleys do it for me. Just do. They just do. They're just cool animals. I hope that is satisfactory for you, Garrett. I feel like you're probably the same way if I was to guess. Ooh, lefty. Kind of, ooh. So again, might be an amphibious fellow over here writing with my left hand. Yes, sir. Our next question. This feels dumb, but also like pretty good at the same time. Like the way I'm talking about these, this is kind of what I was after, but I also feel really kind of weird, like just going down this list of questions, and I don't know. We're figuring it out. You guys let me know. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you thought. Leave a like. Hit subscribe. We'll see you back in No. But seriously, I would like feedback from some of y'all in whichever way, whether it's in comments or if you know me and you can get a hold of me, just text me. Seriously, if you have ideas, just text me. Or if you can't get a hold of me, just put in the comments or whatever the heck. Whatever works for you guys. I appreciate it all. Next question here is from Liam, Mr. Liam Nissan. He's a cool cat. I should have him editing these videos and podcasts and stuff, because I am struggling, not gonna lie. This boy's struggling pretty hard with the editing podcast stuff, you know what I'm saying? Just an old boy. But this is actually something, Matt also asked this question. He asked if a tomato was a fruit. First thing I'm going to say, not a doctor, don't know the answer. I know that they say it's a fruit. I say it's a tomato. I say it tastes like crap. You know, like, if it wasn't for ketchup, man, tomatoes could just get lost, man. Oh, if it wasn't for ketchup, tomatoes could just disappear, and I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't have the slightest. But man, ketchup, that stuff's got to be so bad for you. Think about all. Have you ever looked at the? If you ever looked at a bottle of ketchup and really thought to yourself when you're pouring it out of there, and you look at that plastic and you're going, now why does it slide off that plastic and not leave a single bit of residue? But as soon as you get it on your shirt, you're fucked. What the heck is in that bottle and in the ketchup itself that does that? I don't think we should be eating it, to be honest, but I'm not going to stop. It just, ooh, I don't, and I just had some on a brat. Now I feel weird. Ooh. Think about that, though. What in the heck are they putting in those bottles that makes it just slip right out? And then, like I said, as soon as you get it on your shirt, there's a stain there for 6 months. You got to bleach it 7 times to get it out. But I don't know. So Matt asks is, man, sorry, I get off track pretty easy. He asked if the tomato's a fruit. And to that, I would say, yes, they call it a fruit because it has seeds on the inside of it, whatever, right? They call it a fruit. And we'll just say that. We'll go with it and we'll say, okay, a tomato is a fruit. Liam asks, if them tomatoes are fruit, does that mean ketchup is a smoothie? Well, Liam, no, it does not mean ketchup is a freaking smoothie. You can make yourself a tomato smoothie. I implore you to. I hope you make one and tell me how it goes. But no, Liam. Ketchup is not a smoothie. Because for it to be a smoothie, you have to have the ice and all that jazz in it, right? And, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a smoothie has to be sweet. I feel like if it isn't sweet, it ain't a smoothie. I could be totally wrong, but in my mind, when you tell me smoothie, I go strawberry, banana, peach, mango. Something sweet. But I come back to ketchup is not a smoothie because it's got all kinds of different ingredients. It's a different texture. It doesn't have the ice in it. They're not made. If it was made the same way, then yeah, maybe I say it's a smoothie because then it'd just be a tomato smoothie. This is more of a puree than a smoothie, I'd say. I'm gonna have to look up how ketchup's made now because now what? How do you get that from that? If I like tomatoes, I might have one laying around and I could hold them up and go how do you get ketchup from a tomato? How do you get this from this? But I don't like tomatoes, so I ain't got none, so it ain't happening. But, oh man, I am going to have to figure out how they make ketchup because that's just an odd deal. It's just an odd deal. If anybody knows how they make ketchup, let me know because there's no way it's good for you. Because think about a tomato and how soft they are. And then imagine just smashing a tomato up and like what it turns into like salsa, right? Right? I mean, I think that's kind of ooh. You know what, Liam? If you had asked me, since tomatoes are fruit, does that mean ketchup? Not ketchup. Does that mean salsa is a smoothie? I would have told you yes. I would say salsa is about the closest thing to a tomato smoothie you're gonna get without making a tomato smoothie. I think it's got more of the consistency and things along those lines. But but yeah, if you smash up a tomato, I mean, you're gonna get basically salsa, and salsa's a long way from ketchup. How do you? What they gotta add some kind of like corn syrup, a bunch of sugars, and golly, I don't know, bunch of acids and shit like stuff like that. I get a bunch of like that. Yeah. No, Liam. Ketchup is not a smoothie. Final answer. All right. Now, I love this next guy to death. I really do. But he spammed me with a bunch of very dumb questions and ideas or whatever. But I'm also very grateful that he did, because it's going to give me stuff to talk about. And I get to drag him through the mud a little bit. So Matt asked me, we're going to do a speed round real quick, unless I get caught on one. Beer or liquor? Beer or liquor? Neither. But if I had to choose, it's beer. If I drink liquor, dude, I'm throwing up. Plain and simple. Beer before liquor, never been sugar. Liquor before beer, you're in the clear. Shut up, dude. Shut your pie hole. I don't care if I drink it right when I wake up. I don't care if I drink it right before I go to bed. I don't care I don't care when or what or how I drink a liquor. I'm going to start twitching. I'm going to start freaking doing weird stuff. And I'm going to throw up. I'm not even going to get drunk. I'm just going to throw up. Give me a shot of Jack. It's coming right back. Golly, I'm on fire. I'm rhyming like a motor trucker right now. But yeah, if I had to choose, I'd say beer. But it's like, beer is going to have your calories and you're going to get fat. And liquor is going to help save you some calories and this and that and whatever. But at the end of the day, for me, I ain't doing liquor. I just ain't. It's just not happening. Like, what do you want from me? Like, gross. Don't give me whiskey. Don't give me bourbon. I don't want that crap. I don't want to make faces every time I take a drink of something. That ain't fun. I feel like every time I take a shot or drink any type of liquor, I feel like I'm going to throw up for like 2 minutes. And my mouth salivates and I'm like, do I need to run to the bathroom? Am I going to make it through this time? Like, I don't know. It's just too much risk. There's too much risk in that. I cannot afford to throw up all over somebody when I'm not even drunk. Well, that's why I don't drink anymore. Hardly. I don't really drink to get drunk anymore anyway. So that's why, for me, you have a couple beers and just hang out and relax or whatever. But I will say, last time I was drinking, I was in Kansas there, and they I went. It's not the last time I was drinking, but like not too long ago, I was in Kansas. These kids come up to me with a bottle of Crown or something or another, and they were like, "Oh, you need to take a drink out of this to be at this party." So he like holds it up or whatever, and like holds it up to my mouth, and I'm drinking. I was just moving my Adam's apple to make it look like I was swallowing. I didn't drink any of that crap. You crazy? Kids these days. Okay, beer or liquor? I'm gonna go beer on this one. Gonna go beer. Gotta go beer. He then asked, sweats or jeans? Not gonna lie to you, I I've only ever owned one pair of sweatpants. I've had them since my freshman year of college. Don't ask me how long ago that was, because it's been a few. But I like sweats. Don't get me wrong. I think they have a good. Well, I've had more than one pair. I had sweatpants when I was in like cross country in high school, I guess. But I'm pretty sure I only had the one pair, even then. But I don't wear sweatpants. I just don't feel. I wore them in public a few times now, and I'm getting more comfortable with it. But like, I just don't feel right wearing sweatpants in public. It just I like having pockets. I like wearing clothes that I feel like I can kind of do anything in. When I'm wearing, like, I don't walk around in athletic shorts either, like gym shorts. Like, I'm not walking around in shorts. I feel too vulnerable. I feel way too vulnerable wearing shorts. Just walking around town. I'll wear them at home all day long. I don't give a crap. But like, I am not wearing shorts going out in public or doing any type of work. No, I'm not doing it. I feel naked. I feel like I could hurt my knee really easily, because I don't have jeans on. I feel like I'm going to get splinters. I feel like I'm going to get stuff down my shoe. That's the worst part. That right there just is going to all the more, like, that's all the reason you need. I don't want to get shit down my freaking shoes and my socks. That's all I need to say. That's not even the question. I'm talking about shorts and jeans. Should be sweats and jeans, okay? Like I said, I'm a jeans guy. I always wear jeans. I don't sleep in jeans, but like, I can very easily, and it doesn't bother me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, I always sleep on a couch in my jeans. I don't give a crap. And people are like, are you sleeping in your jeans? Yeah, I've been in them all day. Why couldn't I sleep in them? Like, are you that dumb? Like, oh, I can't sleep in my jeans. Get over yourself. And I also wear, like, my work jeans. I don't starch them, but everything else I do. I don't want, like, personal jeans, not work jeans, but like, hold on. Excuse me. No, so anywho, yeah, like, all my jeans that aren't my work pants, I get them starched, and I started doing that almost 2 years ago, and I mean, I don't know why, but I like it. I don't get it. I don't know why, but I like it. I like them. Sue me. I can afford to get them done, so I'm going to get them done. Sorry, people. Deal with it. But final decision on sweats or jeans, we are going team jeans. Team cream in the jeans. We do not have gray sweatpant energy over here. Not going to lie to you, folks. Nah, don't have it. Then he goes, Xbox or PlayStation? PlayStation. Plain and simple. PlayStation's always been better, always will be. Plain and simple. Halo or Call of Duty? Call of Duty. Duh. Next question. Star Wars or Star Trek? Nerd, first of all. Asking a dumb question like nerd. Matt, you're a nerd. You're a nerd, and it's a dumb question, but I'm going to answer it. I'm going to answer that question. Neither. Because I'm not a nerd. I used to be a little bit of a nerd, but I'm not. I was never a Star Wars or Star Trek guy. I could never get into them. I think when I was like 7, I watched one of the Star Wars and was like, nope, never again. To this day, I've never watched a full Star Wars movie. And I don't think I've seen any of the Star Trek stuff either. I think I've seen some episodes of like the original Star Trek from in like the 60s or whenever. But yeah, just not my cup of tea. So yeah, there you go. Neither. We're not doing the sci-fi stuff. Not huge on that. I'm going to skip this one, and I'm going to come right back to it. We're going to do this one first, and then go right back. Shannon was the very first one to respond, my little sister, and she said, "How great I am." And, I'm going to have to agree with her. I'm pretty great, pretty cool guy. I'm just a chill guy that, I get worked up sometimes, but not too bad, I don't think. No, I'm just kidding. She wanted me to say how great she was and how much I loved her or something. I do love her. I love my sister a lot. It sucks not really being there to support her and be there for her growing up. That does bother me. Yeah, it always kind of has. Never really felt like we had a great connection. I feel like we do, and it's getting a lot better now as now that you're a little older, as she's a little older, and everything. But it's just hard, We're 7 years apart, and it's just hard to relate when you're that far apart, especially like when you're in college and she's in like 7th grade. Or I think she was probably going into like 6th grade, 5th or 6th grade or something. And it's like, something like that. It's how the years work. I don't know. And it's like, how do you're in college, you're 18 years old. How are you going to connect with an 11-year-old girl? If it was a little brother, like it'd probably been a little easier, but like still, a 7-year age gap is a tough one at that particular age to deal with. But I think we're getting a lot closer now, and I'm very grateful for that. It's funny, like I'd go home for like Christmas break or something, or like in the summertime during college, I'd come home and visit, and that I wanted to be there. I wanted to have a relationship with her. So I would take Shannon to Buffalo Wild Wings or Roosters or wherever we went, like me and the boys. Like me, Chase, like all the guys me, Chase, Matt, Jason, you name them, like the guys that I graduated with, like we're all in college and stuff, and we'd go back, and I'd go back, and I only get home a few times a year, and I would want to spend time with them, but I'd also want to spend time with her, so I would take her with us to Buffalo Wild Wings with the boys, to wherever. That's where we usually went. So we'd go to B-Dubs, and what's the age difference? Like I said, 7 years. I'm 18, 19, whatever, and she's 11, 12, and she's hearing college stories from a couple college guys. That, I was like, luckily, I got a good friend group, and none of us were quite that crazy, and we also knew like not to talk about those certain things in front of her, and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I think it was good exposure. I think it's good for kids to kind of hear that stuff and know that some type of things happen, and maybe they can learn from it. But yeah, I always thought that was really funny that I take her out, and it's just like me and the boys, we're 18, 19, 20 years old over the couple years of college and stuff, that I go home and taking my little sister with us and everything. But yeah, no, like I said, she's 16 now, and I think our relationship's getting a lot better, and like we're getting a lot closer. I'm very thankful for that. But yeah, like I said, oh, she wanted me to say how great she was. She's pretty cool. I mean, she's kind of a wuss, not gonna lie. Yeah, she better watch this and hear it, because I'm gonna tell her in person too. She's a wuss. He needs to nut up and get to work. She's doing an all right job at it, but she could definitely do better. Nah, you can't live at home forever. Gonna have to make your way somehow. Life ain't rainbows and sunshine and rainbows, or leprechauns, or three-legged cats or something like that. I don't know. But no, she's good. She's not very bright either. She sucks at math, so she needs to get better at math. I think she's fairly smart in other stuff, but excited to see what's coming for her in the next couple of years. And I'm sure if y'all stick around and I'm still doing this, you'll hear about it, because see what she does for college and for her career. But yeah, that's my sister. That's my sister. That's my sister. Oh, Shannon. All right, and then this one might get a little long, but that's quite all right. Well, actually, I'm going to switch it up again. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple points I had that I wanted to talk about. And real quick, the one I want to talk about is, I've been thinking about this a lot, and it might just be a me thing. I think you guys will kind of understand what I'm saying and all that jazz, but there's a difference between being protective and being controlling, right? And I think as a man, this is really out of the blue, but like I said, it's something that come across my mind, and I put it in my notes, and it's here. So when I say that, what I mean is, as a guy, it's very easy, very common, at least for me, to want to say, like, hey, don't do this, don't do that. Like, and I think this I want to say is me, but I'm not special. I ain't that special. But men, as problem solvers, we see a problem and we want to fix it, right? And so that's where, and like being protective, right? We see, and like people talk about this all the time too. This ain't nothing new. This ain't rocket science. We see things and we kind of know where they're going to go and what intentions are and like what can happen. And we're always looking at like, so like when I'm saying this, I'm going, okay, like, my girl's going out partying, she's going to the bar, she's doing this, she's doing that, or whatever. She's hanging out with a bunch of guys. And it's like, it's not a great thing in any situation, I don't think. I don't think it's a great thing unless those are also your friends and you trust them and they're truly just taken care of or whatever. But what am I gonna say? No, so like I talked about before, is like putting yourself in situations. I like how I'm saying like things I talked about before, even though I haven't put those episodes out, so you're not gonna have any idea what I'm talking about. Dumb. Sorry. Like I talked about in another episode that hopefully we'll get to hear soon. It's about the situations you're putting yourself in, right? And when you put yourself in bad situations, bad things happen. So as a guy, it sounds super controlling to a girl, and it can cause them, I think, to resent you or push away, or push back, or pull back, however you want to say it, because they think that you're trying to control them. Which, sorry, ladies, but that's also kind of the way it works. I'm not saying that you're our slaves. That's not it at all. Women are not supposed to be our slaves, but they are supposed to be, our support and our helpers. There's nothing that a man, or at least myself, wants more than someone that is just supportive. Someone that is just supportive and just a caring individual that just wants to care for you. There's nothing greater than that in a woman. Like, I don't think there's a greater quality than that in a woman. It's just having that caringness about them. Is that even a freaking... I don't know. But just having that and, wanting to care for you and, do you want this? You want that? This, and just, you don't need to cater to me hand and foot, but having that kind of... showing that type of caretaking ability and, thought, and just, showing that respect and love for your man, your husband, for your guy, that's huge. Even little things, can I help with this, that, I might yell at you once or twice, maybe no, get out, whatever, but the fact that you're trying to help and you're trying to take care of, when something's over your head and just going, hey, I can't help him with this, but I know how I can make this easier for him. I know how I can make his life easier while he's struggling with this and that I can't help him with, right? So he's changing the brakes on your car. He's working on your car. You can't help him work on the car, most likely. If you can, cool, but even then, if it's a simple... he don't need your help. It's going to frustrate him. It's going to piss him off and whatever, but what you can do is go, hey, while he's doing that, I'm going to go inside and I'm going to cook him up a nice lunch. I'm going to make him a nice lunch. I'm going to make him a nice supper. Oh, I'm going to go make some fresh squeezed lemonade and bring it out to him so he can take a break and have some lemonade. Things like that, I think, in my opinion, in my 1950s freaking era brain, that is, top tier. That was weird. I don't know how he got going down that way, but yeah. Anywho, what I'm getting at, we gotta bring this back. Gotta bring it back. Pull fish bag. Okay. Being protective over being controlling. Controlling is going, no, you can't do this, can't do that, can't do this, can't do that, can't do this, can't do that. And just really being trying to change a person is what I think is controlling, right? That's what I would consider as controlling. And then I think myself and what most guys typically do and then get called controlling is we're being protective, right? We do not want to see... I don't care if they're your best friend. I don't give a crap how long you've known this guy. I don't care how gay this guy is. It doesn't matter to me. None of that matters. If I'm in a relationship with a girl, I don't want to see her hanging out with other dudes. It's going to happen, and it's okay. I'm just saying that never do I want to see that. Never is it it's never going to make me feel good, if that makes any sense. And, there's some there's always exceptions to everything, and that's like I was just talking to a good, really close friend of mine, Rachel, from back home, and she was just one of the boys growing up, like that's our friend group. She's just one of the dudes, and she was telling me how she was talking to this guy, and like it was going pretty good or whatever, and like he knew that she had a lot of guy friends and whatever, and like was okay with it. And then out of the blue, I don't know when this was, like a week or two ago or something like that, I guess less than a month ago, because she brought him around for Thanksgiving, and then now she said she was, I can't remember what she was doing, but she was hanging out with the boys, our friend group, the guys, hanging out. Hadn't seen them in a while. People are back in town. It's Christmas, holidays. People are home. And so you're visiting and you're seeing your friends. And so she hung out with them, and then she went back to one of the guys' houses to help him wrap gifts for people and whatever. And it's like, I know them, and I know that there's nothing going on there. But she said that she wasn't really on her phone because, like, you're not going to be rude when you're hanging out with people. You're not, like, especially people you haven't seen in a long time. Like, you're not going to be on your phone the whole time. You're going to be catching up. You're going to be talking. And he just was like, oh, glad to see you can't snap me back when you're with other guys, and you're hanging out with a bunch of dudes, and then unadded her and everything. And it was just like, that's where you're getting into controlling. Obviously, he didn't really like get controlling. He just bailed, and which, like, that's obviously better than being controlling, I guess. But it's also not the right thing to do. I think you need to be able to sit down and have a mature adult conversation about things. But regardless, there's that, and then there's, hey babe, I don't want you to, I just don't like pet names like that. It's just not what I do. Like, hey, can you not go out and get blackout drunk every night at the bar? Like, if they're hanging out with a lot of guy friends and stuff all the time, and it's different guys, and there's this and that, and like they're doing shady things, like it's not something that you need, right? And it's like they put themselves in a bad situation, and it's more so like me at least, you're more concerned about somebody taking advantage of them or something bad happening to them because they're putting themselves in a bad situation. Not that they're going to do wrong and they're going to do bad and they're going to do this or that. It's more or less that, like, if she goes and gets drugged and gets raped, it's like you have the sympathy, but at the same time, when you go, hey, like, maybe you shouldn't go do that, it's hard, right? Because it's like, if you hadn't put yourself in that situation, that wouldn't have happened, and it's tough. You can't tell people to never go out. It's like, I still want to go out sometimes, and it is what it is. But and every once in a while is one thing. But if you're doing it a lot, that's where it really becomes a problem. And then it's like, you just, like I said, you get protective. You're like, I don't want anything bad to happen to her. I don't want her to get super drunk and then get persuaded. Like, she blacks out and and then something goes down that is not ideal for your relationship, it just sucks. So, like, you're protective because you don't want to see that. You don't want to see it. You don't want to even think about it. And I'm usually pretty good about, I've never really questioned. I guess I only really have one. I get two exes, but like, out of both of the girls I dated, I never feared that they were cheating on me, even though I traveled for work and I was gone a lot. I never thought that until the last one, like at the end of it, when her ex was calling her and he would call her and then he had texted her and she had like, he asked her when she was going to be back out in that area and she told him like when we were going to be out there. And I was like, that's unacceptable. That really was kind of like, that's pretty close to when we broke up. But I mean, at the same time, I was never like, I got accused of being a cokehead. I got accused of cheating. I got accused of everything under the sun. But at the end of the day, one of us had a new boyfriend within weeks of moving out from living with each other, and one of us didn't. So that's however you want to take that, I guess. But even then, still, like I said, I trust people. It's just about being protective about like not wanting bad things to happen or being in a situation where mistakes can be made. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Maybe I'm crazy and I'm just whatever. But like, if you agree with that, like, let me know because that's that's how I see it. Guys are protective and it comes off as controlling, and so then like a lot of women, I think women are more controlling than men most of the time. Like, I've known guys that like their life is run by their girl, and I find that completely unacceptable because I don't think the woman should ever really be in charge. The woman shouldn't wear the pants in the relationship. That's just not how it. This is not how it is. So, I don't know. I think women like to be. You see it all the time. You really do. Where like the woman just sucks the soul out of a man, and he just is basically her slave. And yeah, it breaks my heart to see it, but it's also his fault for not being a man. Be a freaking man. Don't let your woman or your wife boss you around like that. That's my 2 cents. That was my thoughts, my 2 cents, whatever you want to call it. That's protective versus controlling. So, and then this kind of segues into this right here. This goes right into it. And this is why guys are protective, is because you ever thought about what the difference is between why a guy goes to a party versus why a girl goes to a party? You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that. If you're a guy, think about it. Why do I go to a party? Like, what is the reason that I go to parties? The number one reason. There's probably 2 or 3 reasons. And like, we're probably on the same page as well. I'll let you think about it for a second, but I bet it's the same. And then girls, why do you go to parties? And I need to talk to a girl and see why they say, I'm going to go out and I'm going to make an assumption here. I'm going to draw all over myself with this pen. I'm going to make an assumption on why I think girls go to parties, but I'm going to tell you why most guys go to parties, right? Guys go to parties. One, you go with the boys to like, have a good time, kind of, yeah. But the main reason is you're looking for women. Plain and simple. That's why guys go to parties. I mean, it's just that simple. So some guys are alcoholics and they go just because they like to drink. But I'm telling you, 90% of the time, even those guys, like, they're trying to get some. They're looking for women. That's why that's why guys go to parties, because they're horned up and they want to find a woman and they want to drink and have fun and have a good time doing it or whatever, right? Because that's like, what's one thing that, if you ask a guy, if you ask a guy about a party or whatever, and it's not just like you and the boys or whatever, and it's a party somewhere else, he's probably gonna be like, "Are there girls gonna be there? Like, did you invite any girls?" You know what I mean? Like, that's the mentality, and like that's why guys go to parties. And so that's why I started thinking about that, and I got interested in wondering why do girls go to parties? What is their reason? I think it's probably a little different. I think there's going to be a lot of the same as far as like, oh, we're looking for cute guys, but I think girls can go to parties and stuff with more a slightly more innocent reason, and like, oh, I'm just gonna go out and have fun with my friends. And I think that to a point is much more true for women than it is men. But at the end of the day, I think majority of them are probably still looking for guys. I don't know this. I don't know. I need to talk to some women's and figure out their opinion, like it matters. Just kidding. That's a joke. Easy. But yeah, I mean, answer that for me, girls, ladies. Why? Why do y'all go to parties? What's your reason? And then guys do the same. Guys, answer that for me too. Why do you go to parties? Am I right or am I crazy? I'm pretty sure I'm right, but I'm also crazy, so you never know. Yeah. Please, ladies, let me know. Why do you go to parties? Like I said, I think they can have a lot more innocent of reasons and are able to go just for fun and to like hang out with their friends. I think that's much more possible with women and to tease men kind of thing. But yeah, that's my thoughts. And then we're gonna get this pretty close to wrapped up by going into the last question that was asked by Mr. Jack, and he just said anything college rodeo, or asking about like my personal journey. Well, let me tell you, anything college rodeo. What I'm gonna say is, I love college rodeo. I think it's one of the greatest things that we have the privilege of doing in the United States. College rodeo is so much fun, and there's nothing like it in my opinion. And like, I was in FFA, and before college rodeo, I was like, FFA is the crap. Like, this is awesome. Like, FFA is legit, and I still believe that. I love FFA. I hope every kid can experience it because it changed my life. I've watched it change other people. I've watched it save people, and that's FFA and our ag teacher, turn people's lives around and pulled them off the wrong path and put them on the right one, or a better one at least. And so FFA, awesome. But college rodeo, awesomer. I mean, I sucked so bad at riding bulls while I was in college. It's embarrassing. It really truly is embarrassing to look at like how bad I was in college rodeo. I'm still not that good, but looking at how bad I was for so long is absolutely insane to me. I never got any better. I didn't have the tools. I wasn't provided with decent coaching. I love Jimmy, but Jimmy, you didn't coach. You didn't coach. It's that simple. I appreciate everything you did. I really do, but Jimmy, you didn't coach. You didn't help. But I recently went to a school and I kind of was like getting my mind right. I was starting to ride a little better. I went to this school and I mean, it's changed the game. I got on a couple days ago on Sunday afternoon, evening, and rode the best I've ridden and most consistent ever. I mean, it was really awesome. I was over the moon with how I did. It was really, really good. And so that's my journey now. It's like if I was riding the way that I was riding on Sunday during college, my buddy, I was on the phone with him right afterwards, and he was like, "Yeah, imagine if you were riding like that when we were in college. You might have had a couple buckles. You might have made it to the national finals." And I was like, "Yeah, shut up. I don't want to talk about it." But no, it's cool, even though it's a little late. But no, college rodeo, great experience. Being at rodeos with your friends and a bunch of people your age is awesome. Love it. And there's plenty like rodeo stories from high school and college. Nothing better. We got some great stories from college rodeo, let me tell you. But I won't tell you. Those are for me and my peeps. Some of them will come up, but like for the most part, can't really talk about them. But yeah, so that was I guess my journey along with that would be I started riding bulls right before I graduated high school in Ohio at 17, almost 18. Started riding bulls, got on a few there, moved to Mitchell, South Dakota for college and Mitchell Tech, and rode like crap. COVID hit, it was fall of 19 and the spring of 20, so we missed our spring season. I didn't get to do much rodeo, and I didn't get to do much practicing. I didn't really get any better from first year to second year. Second year, I started to get okay by the last rodeo of fall, and then I took the whole winter off, and then spring season came, and by the last rodeo of spring season, I started to get decent and was on them for like 6 seconds, 7 seconds, and then more time off, and I come back in to my third year doing better, but still not great. Well, I actually came in pretty good, I guess you could say. Like second rodeo of the season, I've been riding over the summer and stuff, and I come into the fall season, second rodeo in North Platte, Nebraska. I scored 72 on Alkai's little black. He's not little, but his black muley. Went 72 on him, got second in the rodeo, and like put me in the hunt for qualifying for the CNFR. And so I just couldn't replicate it again. I started so many bulls after that. I would be on for 6-7 seconds or whatever. I just couldn't finish any rides, and just never quite got there the rest of that season. And if I would have just covered one more, I probably would have made it to the finals. That's how crappy the region was. But, it is what it is, and that's that. But I rode for maybe a month or two after I graduated college, and then I quit. And I hung it up for 2 years. And then now this summer I started riding again, and I was like, man, I'm not really getting anywhere. I was kind of facing that, like, man, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just hang it up for good. Maybe it's over, Kenny. Like maybe you should just hang it up. And I said, nah, screw that. I gotta keep trying. And I had a pep talk with my buddy Garrett on my way up to a practice pin, and I was kind of like, dude, like this is, if this doesn't go good, like what am I doing? And that's what he said. He was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you want to ride bulls or do you not? He's like, you're not fighting. He's like, I watched you since college. You just, you don't fight. You need to take the fight to him, and things like that. And told me like to basically quit being a bitch. Well, that didn't work. You gotta quit being a bitch. And so, I hope that beep worked. Otherwise, I just cussed like 3 times for no reason. And so I was like, yeah, he's right. I need to freaking bear down and make something happen. And that's what I did. I went to that practice pin in Lubbock, and I rode the crap out of a flat spinner and said, hey, I'm here. I can do this. Let's keep it rolling. So then this fall is when, in October, I went to that school, did well, felt good, learned a lot. And it's just about putting that work in and wanting to do it and wanting to put that work in to be good, because that's what I've been lacking this entire time, is not having the drills or the work into it outside of getting on them. And so, I've been putting that work in, and it's been slow. I haven't gone on very many bulls since that school, but the ones I have been getting on, I've been riding way better. Like I said, on Sunday, I covered 2 and went like 6 on 1 and just felt great. And that's where we're at. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I got a good job in the West Texas oil fields down here, and I should just focus on that and making good money and whatever, but I just can't get away from it. I just can't, I love it too much. And that's why I hope, and I'm going to put it on record right now. I've told plenty of people, but I'm going to put it on record right here for everybody. My goal coming into 2025 is, first, actually, I'm going to add this one in there. This is new. But my goal is to go to these Circle P rodeos here after the beginning of the year. I've already missed like 3 or 4 of them, but nobody's covered in the bull riding yet, so I'm not behind anybody at all for any points for this winter series at Circle P in Lubbock. And so my goal is to win that Circle P series and win the money, win the buckle at the end of the year, whatever that the prizes are to win. I want to win that series. But then my goal for 2025 is to win the SDRA bull riding. I want to qualify for the NRCA finals. And then I don't know, is NDRA even? I don't know. But so the South Dakota SDRA amateur rodeos, right? And then I want to qualify for the NRCA finals. I want to go to a couple. I want to get my permit and go to a couple of PRCAs. And I want to see if I can qualify in the UPRA down here in Texas. See if I can qualify for the UPRA finals. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But those are my goals. That's what I want to do, rodeo-wise. I do have an elk hunt in Montana, hopefully, next year, too, that I'm really looking forward to. Really looking forward to that. And then hopefully I can get a freaking speed goat and a nice muley on the ground next year as well. I think those are my goals. Those are going to be my goals for next year. And yeah, we'll see what we can do. I think those are pretty reasonable goals. Like, I don't think there's anything crazy about those at all, really. I think they're very, very possible, very, very attainable, and I'm very confident in myself and my ability that, as long as I stay healthy and I keep working towards it and I keep putting the effort in, I will win the SDRA. I will qualify for the NRCA finals, and I will qualify for the UPRA finals. If I do everything right, I will meet those goals. If I do the work, I will achieve those goals. Those are not crazy goals. So putting it out there, you guys hold me accountable. Hopefully text me and tell me, hey, fatty, why aren't you working out? You got a finals to get to, but yeah, I think that's all I got. That's all I got for tonight. I think it's an hour and 20. Hopefully it gets you through most of your drive or whatever you got going on, getting to or from your great families over Christmas. I guess I was going to talk about how lonely I am here by myself over Christmas again, since I was here by myself over Thanksgiving too, but that's here nor there. That's here nor there, but I will leave you with this message. Safety third. If I can't figure out how to edit this and zoom in on it, I'm going to just describe it for you and go. It's a guy riding a bear with his hand in a rope, like kind of like he's got a flank rope around him, like he's bull riding basically. Or we'll just say he's like bull riding. Guy riding a bear, holding a beer in his free arm. It says safety third, Cloudcroft, New Mexico. Thank you guys for listening. If you got this far, I really appreciate it. And I hope I get this out tomorrow for you guys to listen to on Christmas Day. This has been Christmas Eve 2024 with Kenny Stoller on the Kenny Kast. Seriously, thank y'all so much. Peace.